we're talking about debt right now. The U.S. debt, you could wrap $1 bills around the earth 67,000 times with the debt that we currently have in the world. Let's go back to the debt. Currently, we're about $18 trillion in debt in America. If you lay $1 bills on top of each other, the world, the pile that would make a pile 1,883,000 kilometers, or 1.17 miles high. That's equivalent to 4.9 trips to the moon, just in the debt we have. Okay, that's got to end somehow. That's got to end somehow.
Like what, bankruptcy or?
Well, I mean, I don't want to. I'm not a doomsdayer kind of guy. I'm a positive guy. Actually, if the whole world went bankrupt, I'm going to wind up richer than I am today, because I'm going to go take what few pennies you fuckers have away from me. So the good news is the big guys are going to get rich all over again. I'm going to walk in, or somebody's going to walk in and put a cap in fucking Loudmouth's over here head and just take his fucking company. The mafia model. The Russians got the QLA model down to, they got it down to a fine tune. They got, they're making offers that nobody can refuse. As a nation, USA borrows $2.5 trillion per year without mortgages. The average USA family has 9 credit cards. 9. Until recently, worst new home sales records on record in USA, worst foreclosure rate in all of history. This economy is in bad shape, and it's only beginning to get better. Just starting to get better. But now they're wondering if we're hitting a double top in the stock market. YouTubers, you don't have to, it doesn't make a shit. Elliott wave theory and all that stuff. Whether we're hitting a double top, I don't know. But one thing I'm pretty sure, that if Putin takes Ukraine, the stock market will correct. This is a prognostication, doesn't mean anything, it's for free. I would say the stock market will correct 40%. 40. That means go down for you uneducated. 40. Maybe 50. If you want to go back and look how bad it got, go see what the stock market did when Hitler invaded Czechoslovakia, Poland, yada, yada, yada. If you want to get a nightmare, go back and look at that. Go back and look at interest rates. But the kids today, hey man, we're going to do them a solid. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit. And your internet sales, where'd they go? They're all gone. The one good thing that will come of it, all the internet scum will be gone. They'll be fucking gone. But a lot of people will be making movies, because in the big depressions, etc., people want to go to the movies. Liquor sales will go up, but nobody's going to be buying shit online. They won't be able to afford the $20 or $30 a month it is to get. Everybody will be sitting in fucking Starbucks. Is it still free to do your internet shit in Starbucks?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I've only been in a couple of Starbucks. I never took my laptop. But I see all these little geek freaks in there, And I think to myself, they can't even afford to fucking be home with their laptop. Shit. Anyway. Business and non-business bankruptcies in 2005 to 2012. Big numbers. Business and non-business BK's fiscal year. Carl Trump's God damn it. Carl Trump's Donald. That means Donald Trump. And people always tell me, Dan Hutt, oh shit. People always tell me, excuse me, how do, come on Dan, that's it, okay. People always say, Dan, you teach people that you can buy people's companies even if they don't want to sell. You've heard me say that before, right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of people say that this is not possible, it cannot happen, right? You probably believe that in Australia. What's it say?
How Trump's Donald.
Yeah. He took Trump's casinos away from him by buying the debt. Donald didn't want to sell him his casinos. Every bank loan that was ever written says if the bank feels uncomfortable with you as a security, they can either foreclose on the loan or sell it on. That's what happened with all the derivatives, because people with mortgages, they never planned on keeping them, so they sold them on to somebody else and they syndicated them and packaged them. Yes, you can buy companies that aren't for sale. And yes, you can buy companies from people that don't want to sell. It happens every single day of the year. Carl Icahn is buying up all the cards, still smarting from the flop gamble on Blockbuster. The billionaire investor yesterday upped the ante in his showdown with developer Donald Trump over ownership of 3 bankrupt Trump casinos in Atlantic City. Icahn quietly gained control yesterday of half of the casino's mortgages that he didn't already own. He bought back half the mortgages held by Texas banker Alan Beal, who's a bottom feeder, very smart guy I've met before, and requirement of the covenants of the original mortgage. Yes, it does happen. It normally doesn't happen to small businesses, but it can happen. It can happen. And if you had debt, and the big companies that we alluded to, they're not going to tell the companies that I alluded to, no, we can't sell the debt. Not going to happen. And having been with you now 4 days, you have the personality that just could piss off those big companies. So don't tell me that this shit doesn't happen. It does happen. And as you get out of the minnow leagues and you get up into the big leagues, it happens more often. And unfortunately, and I'm not saying it's true, a lot of these guys are vindictive. I'm not saying that that's right. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I am saying it's true that they are vindictive. And they play hardball. And for those of you that don't understand hardball, I mean, they play to win. They don't play not to lose. Okay? Startups, this is American information, 25% started with less than 5,000, 50% started with less than 25,000, 75% with less than 100,000, and less than 5% with more than $1 million. So, but most of the companies start with friends, fools, and family. Credit cards, friends, fools, and family. 300,000 or more millionaires were made in 2002. This is American numbers, U.S. numbers. When I came here in 1981, the whole country had less than 10,000 millionaires. Britain, the whole country had less than 10,000 millionaires. Because of Mrs. Thatcher's privatization program, she changed that, and now I think they have a few 100,000 millionaires. And of course the population has gone from, I think, 48 million to 68 or 70 million, something like that. This is employer ownerships. We talked about stock options. You know, there's different ways to have stock options, but stock options are, you can put them in your 401ks, ESOPs, which are different plans where people can participate. We at the National Center for Employee Ownership estimate that among companies that have stock, about 36% of the workforce own stock in their employment through one kind of plan or another. Those roughly 28 million employees, employee owners, represent an astonishing growth of, in the last 40 years, and probably not more than 1 million employees own stock in their companies. More and more people are being involved in stock ownership in the companies that they work for. More and more companies are giving stock. Okay, these are stock option companies, and I told you this is the key, one of the keys to QLA that are very, very famous. Microsoft, Starbucks, Google, Cisco, Southwest Airlines, Apple, and Vodafone. Now, before Facebook even went public, there was a secondary market 3 or 4 years before it went public in Facebook stock in the Silicon Valley, San Francisco area. There were people making a market in their stock, and the value of homes in Silicon Valley, in and around Google, went up 200–300% because young kids were borrowing against, if not exercising their option, and buying big homes and cars, etc., even before the company went public. Stock options work. Stock options work. These are 10 Fortune 500 companies that started with next to nothing. Starbucks, Mattel, Whole Foods, Apple. Actually, Apple started, but it did start with nothing until it got $80–90 million from Marcellus back in the, I believe it was the early 80s. But options in the whole system, the basis of the QLA system is to give ownership to the people in the company, key people, not everybody and their dog, key people, so they act like they're owners and they become part of the solution instead of part of the problem. The magic, of stock options, you've heard me say before, Bill Gates started Microsoft, incorporated Microsoft, not for taxes, not for any other reason but to share ownership. To share ownership. Starbucks' secret weapon, the company has given stock options to everyone, from managers to baristas. Now employees see a connection between their work and Starbucks' fortunes. It's critical, this idea. So for those of you that are cheap, that don't want to give options, like your tight gypsy partner and your partner, I mean...
They're on board now.
Huh?
Everyone's on board now.
Okay, good. It works. The shit works. And it's been working for a long, long time. Value of stock options from 1984 to 1997, the value of stock options went from 200 million to 1.2 billion, 600%. And from 97 to 2008, it went over to, that should be $1 trillion. It should be over $1 trillion. I don't know if it is that or zeros. It doesn't, it's wrong. Okay. And these are some of the values of stock options. The recession crushed more than 170,000. The recent recession we're just ending, hopefully. The recession crushed more than 170,000 small businesses between 2008 and 2010, according to an analysis by the Business Journal and U.S. Census Bureau, with a loss of more than 3 million jobs. Shareholders filed hundreds of federal class action lawsuits. Recent payments of director and officer insurance averaged 10 million. 42% of outside directors surveyed have been personally sued. Why is that up there? Because the dream team concept behind the QLA, or underlying the QLA, says you have directors, you have a dream team, and you give them options, or you give them stock directly. Well, in America, people are reluctant to become directors because they get sued. But there's a way around that, and it's legal. You form a board of advisors. The board of advisors can still get stock, still get options, and they still can give you the advice without the direct liability. You see Jack Welch and a lot of big names, and if you open their annual report or you go to their website, they got the board of directors over here, which are normally the founder guys, and then you got a board of advisors over here that are giving the advice, the kind of advice I give, etc. I'm not afraid to be on a board of directors because I've been sued so many times, like more gray hair in my beard. I'm not afraid of that. And I think it detracts from my position in the company if I'm an advisor as opposed to a real chairman. These are companies that are not just in Silicon Valley that give options. Morgan Stanley, Merrill Lynch, Microsoft, well, Microsoft is in Silicon Valley, U.S. Airways, Marriott, Bankers Trust, General Mills. A lot of companies give options. The system works. It's not a new system, it's an old system. Quantum leap, suddenly high and significant advance, a breakthrough. Physics studying quantum mechanics note that particles make these jumps without apparent effort and without covering the bases between the starting and ending points. Quantum leaps require you to take the offensive. You can't achieve exponential gains and your success from a defensive position. You can't remain in a passive stance and make a quantum leap. I'm going to end there, but I want to make a comment. The QLA methodology in the system is all about playing to win and not playing not to lose. Most of the people on YouTube and most of the people that have come to the seminar in the last 20 plus years have played most of their lives playing not to win. Or playing not to lose, as opposed to playing to win. There's a, pun intended, there's a quantum difference between playing not to lose and playing to win. You can't make a quantum leap from a defensive position. You can make a quantum leap in an offensive position. That's what we've learned the last 4 days. And that's what we're going to, some more role playing tomorrow, and some more definitive how you get money from financial institutions, etc. Again, for the YouTubers, All this is on my site in one form or another, or again on torrent. I hate to keep giving torrent publicity. I should get a commission for sending everybody to them. But it works. And are there any questions from anybody about anything we've covered so far?
If you form a board of advisors, do you still give the same amount of equity that you would give the same amount?
Yeah. It's probably more appropriate to give them options as opposed to equity. But you can't really blame God. Now, you don't have the same problem up where you live, because I don't know if anybody ever gets sued up there in the North Pole with the fucking from the Santa Claus and all these guys. But in America, it's a huge problem. And a lot of people, unless you have directors and officers insurance, and directors and officers insurance is expensive. But some companies have it, okay? Virtually no startups have it though, that's for sure. I mean, because it's extremely expensive. And it's getting more and more expensive every year. But I mean, where you are, I don't think that's going to be an issue. I don't think there'll be soon Santa Claus up there in the North Pole. You ride reindeers and sleds around, or do they have roads and cars? Do they have sleds and reindeer during the winter?
Sleds and what?
Sleds and reindeers. You know, Santa Claus. You know, sleds. Reindeers.
I'm not sure.
Okay, never mind. Forget about it. We're separated by a common language. Okay. Anybody else have any other questions? Okay. Thank you.